Hey guys, this is my response to Stupid Cupid. If I can get it to go, give me 1 second. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about an overview of the situation that's happening here. The newspaper is the unofficial school newspaper. That's what they call themselves. I'm assuming that this is an off-campus newspaper. It didn't actually say in the scenario that I could find. So I'm assuming that this is an off-campus newspaper, and it is publishing inappropriate information about the school and its employees. And then Tara is having pressure from teachers to more harshly punish the editors. Now, when it referred to the editors, I'm also assuming that the editors are students. So just going forward, just please know that I am assuming the editors are students and the newspaper is off campus. Now, possible actions that Tara can do is, first of all, she can sit back and do nothing. More than likely, that would eventually turn into chaos, and we do not want that. Another option that she has is she can attempt to punish or restrict the editors, or she could attempt to quell the unrest among the teachers without dealing with the editors. These are the three avenues that I can see her going. But we're going to talk about which one I think she should do in just a second. First of all, we need to talk about the legal questions. And I think my webcam is in the way, so I'm going to move it really quickly. I'm sorry. Okay, so does Tara Hill have the right to punish the editors since the newspaper is created off campus? Is the newspaper infringing on the students' or teachers' rights at the school? Are the articles creating a substantial disruption on school property? Are the editor's articles materially and substantially interfering with the requirements of appropriate discipline in the operation of the school and or colliding with the rights of others? And have the editors used derogatory, disrespectful, profane, or vulgar speech? And finally, does the school have the authority to police the unofficial newspaper? So these are the legal questions that I've come up with. I definitely want to talk about this one here. Have the editors used derogatory, disrespectful, profane, or vulgar speech? I wish they would have given us a copy of the letter so that we know exactly what we're dealing with. Um, the only thing about this scenario is it's very vague, so I'm not thrilled with that. But I would like a few more details. But with that being said, we're going to move on. Now, this was on page 60 and it was figure 4.1, and it's the life world and systems world model. And this just is showing us that the life world is about the culture, the community, and the people. And the systems world is what's created in the school. So, your schedules, organization, your procedures, your curriculum, all of those things. Now, it is Tara's job to create a normative environment. And in order to do that, she's got to find balance between the life world and the system world that creates school norms that would define and perpetuate the normative behaviors that guide the personal interactions of her students versus students, and then there's students and teacher interactions as well. So Tara needs to keep this figure in mind as she's going through her I'm sorry, I went blank. She needs to keep this in mind as she is trying to figure out what she needs to do. Now, in order for her to figure out what she needs to do, she needs to look at the ISLIC standards. And I hope I'm saying that right. I'm not sure. But to me, standards 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are important here. Standard 2 refers to the sustaining a school culture conducive to student learning and staff professional growth. So this paper could be affecting the school culture. And in this scenario, it did say that the teachers were experiencing problems in their classroom and um d- respect issues. Now, standard 3 is ensuring the management of the organization, operation, and resources for a safe, efficient, and effective learning environment. The reason this one is on here is because of the word resources. I feel that parents and community members may use the unofficial school paper as a resource. So I feel that it is the administrator's job to make sure that that is creating a safe, efficient, and effective learning environment. Now, Standard 4 talks about collaborating with faculty and community members and then mobilizing the community resources. So again, um, the parents and the community probably look at this unofficial newspaper. Now, the reason I say that is because it said that Sharon Gray was also aware of this and she was the previous principal. So to me, I feel that this is an established paper in the community and more than likely many community members are looking at it. So that's why Standard 4 is involved. Standard 5 applies to every situation. So on all of our assignments that we're going to have in any situation, I'm going to have Standard 5 on there because administrators need to act with integrity, fairness, and in an ethical manner. And they need to do that consistently and every single time. So Standard 5 will be on mine. Now, Standard 6 is responding to the social and cultural context. So, this is out in the community. So, this is creating a culture for the community. So, that's why Standard 6 is on there for me as well. Now, I'm going to talk about the relevant court cases, and I set this up so that I could talk about what Tara needed to look at before she made her decision. So, the first relevant court case is the Tinker versus Des Moines School District, and in this, on page 65, it says a student may express his or her opinions even on controversial subjects if he or she does so without materially disrupting classwork or involving substantial disorder or invasion of the rights of others. So we just need to keep that in mind when we're trying to make a decision. Then also on page 66, Judge Patain said that school discipline does not outweigh a student's right to peacefully express his views in an appropriate time, place, and manner. So we need to make sure that the editors were expressing it at an appropriate time, place, and manner. Okay? The next one is the Bethel School District number 403 versus Frazier. And it said that nothing in the Constitution prohibits schools from insisting that certain modes of expression are inappropriate and subject to sanctions. And that's on page 67. To me, this is a very important ruling because it gives the schools the flexibility to determine when someone's crossed the line with their freedom of speech. Next is the Hazelwood School District versus Kohlmeyer. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. School personnel control expression that could reasonably be seen as bearing the stamp of approval from the school. The reason I put this on is because I mentioned earlier that this seems like an established newspaper. The newspaper's been around, I would say, for at least 2 years because Sharon Gray was aware of it when she was principal. Now Tara's aware of it when she's principal. So if the school has not had an issue with the paper before now, the community may think that the school is okay with them posting these things and they may see it as a true source to get their information from. So I feel that that's important. I feel that we need to keep in mind the fact that does the community look at this as a school approved site? Now, here's my memo to my superintendent. So up until this point, I just told you everything that Tara needs to be looking at, and Miss Gray as well, so that they can make an educated, informed decision on the topic and be able to back it up with the laws that they need and the standards. So, here we go. And my webcam is in the way again. I'm sorry, my nose itched. Okay, so I may just have to move myself around as we go. Okay, so dear superintendent, if I knew the name, I would put it there. I'm sure you're aware of the issue with the unofficial newspaper and our 2 employees. I've decided to force the editors to take down the articles regarding Casey Morning and Nathan Lawrence and write apology letters to both employees. The editors' actions have resulted in a verbal or written abuse of the staff members. Now, on page 77, this has been used before and the courts have backed it up. Now, because of the articles, both Miss Morning and Mr. Lawrence have lost instructional time and lost control in their classrooms. Students are causing disruptions by asking about the articles, and additionally, there's more disrespectful behaviors are occurring in their classes because the students feel they should not have to listen to Miss Morning or Mr. Lawrence anymore. Also, the editors have not expressed their opinions in an appropriate manner and have invaded the rights of Miss Morning and Mr. Lawrence. Since schools are a non-public forum, that was determined on page 67, I think for the I think I skipped a slide. Give me 1 second. I'm so sorry. I think it was the Hazelwood case. So, on page 67, because of the Hazelwood case, they said that schools are a non-public forum. So our employees have the right to keep their personal lives private. The students don't need to know about that. So the articles have made their personal lives the main topic of conversation at the school. Therefore, I can use the precedent set by the 1969 ruling of Tinker and Des Moines because they have caused disruptions, and here they invaded the personal rights. Therefore, because of these 2 things right here, I can use the precedent set by the 1969 ruling of Tinker. Okay? Now, since the community trusts this site, I must follow ISLIC standards 3, 4, and 6. Now, I also had 2 and 5 on my list earlier, but 3, 4, and 6 revolve around the community. So, because the community has trust in this, I need those on there. And then finally, according to the 1986 ruling of Bethel and Frazier, I'm allowed to deem certain methods of expression as inappropriate and take the proper disciplinary action. So this method of expression was inappropriate because it dealt with their personal lives, and their personal lives should not be on display for the students. So because of all of these things, I am in favor of disciplining the editors, and I think that is it. So thank you guys for watching, and I would love to see your comments and feedback. So thank you.